In this video, we're going to be demonstrating Test Modeler for Robot Framework to accelerate functional test automation. Now, the journey can start with a product owner who will sit inside Test Modeler creating models of the system requirements. A tester can also use Test Modeler to create models of how the system should work. Once you have a model, you can use it to find and make the test data you need for your test cases in a wide array of back-end data sources. We can also overlay robot framework actions on top of the model, and we can then export our robot scripts into our robot framework, along with the embedded test data. Scripts are automatically pushed to source control management system, whether this be Git, GitLab, Bitbucket, or some other source control management tool, along with continuous delivery tooling like Jenkins, TeamCity, and Bamboo to execute the test cases. We can also use Test Modeler to scan web applications to create any robot resources and new keywords for different pages that we need to automate. Once we're ready, we can execute the automation and we can push back up the run results into Test Modeler to have a full complete pipeline so that product owners and testers can instantly understand passes and failures in the system. So firstly, let's scan an application. In this demo, we're going to be automating this sign-up page. And to do that, we have an accelerator in the browser where we can come in and we can start scanning web applications. So here we're going to scan our sign-up page, and we're then going to upload this into Test Modeler. Now, if we come over to Test Modeler and take a look, what we'll see is we've got two files that have been created. The first one is an object repository with our objects scanned and different identifiers. And the second one here is we have an implementation layer in Robot Framework. Now we have our Robot Framework embedded in Git, and if we come over and look at our commits here, we'll see that we had a new commit that was made 24 seconds ago. And if we take a look in here, what we'll see is that we've got a new resource that has been made for creating a customer account. We've got our identifiers for the objects at the top. And then as we go down here, we've got our keywords in Robot Framework for interacting with this web page, like entering a first name, a last name, an email, and clicking create an account. So at this point, we have created some page objects and resources with custom keywords inside Robot Framework. Let's import some existing resources. Now, what you may find in your organization is you have some resources that already exist inside your Robot Framework. You can come into Test Modeler here and you can come in and you can import these assets. So here we're going to come in and import our existing Robot Framework resource and hit import. Now our task is complete. If we come back and take a look, what we'll see here is that we have our login resource that has been imported, and we've got our functions here from that object with our different arguments which are now available for use. We're now going to build a model. Now we have some objects imported, we can create a model of our system. To do that, we can drag and drop objects, and we can navigate on the right hand side to the actions that we've imported, and we can start creating a model from them. So we're going to go to the URL, we'll enter a first name, and then we'll enter a last name. And what you'll see is as we're bringing in these actions, it's splitting it for me into the different equivalence classes and type of data for each input, along with tagging some rich data here to go and synthetically and randomly generate the different attributes I need for these tests. Now we've continued building this model, and what you should end up with is a model of how the system should operate. So here we've got the different routes that we end up to go down a successful registration for all of our valid data, and the different routes for our invalid scenarios where we end up with an error. Now what we can do is we can come in and hit the generate button to go off and generate our different test cases and scenarios running through this registration screen, which is the minimum number of tests to maximize coverage across this component. Let's integrate our tests into our source control. Now we're going to export and create our robot scripts. To do that, we're just going to hit the run button here, and we're going to come off and we're going to generate our automation. Now our job's complete here, and if we come over to our Git project and let's take another look, what we'll see is that we have a new commit that has been made. And if we take a look at this, we'll see that we have our robot script here with each of our test cases in, calling our associated resource with our different test data as we're passing through each of these keywords. So now we have our robot framework with our resources and our test cases embedded inside in our robot framework. Finally, let's execute our test cases. Okay, now we've got our tests created. We're going to run them, and we're going to run them locally on our machine just to check that everything's working. We could kick these off as part of our CI/CD pipeline or nightly build process. So let's run these tests and let's gather the results. Okay, so our tests have finished executing here, and we'll see that we had 7 tests run and all 7 of our robot scripts passed. Thanks for watching this video. Visit testmodeler.io to start your free trial today.